So, what we'll do now, we are going to start with a new topic called. Our topic for today is motivation. Now, this is the heart, I would say, the core of organizational behavior subject. It's because this is a very, very challenging topic for all managers. As long as you're in the profession of management, you will have this challenge. So, let's slowly move and then we will try to understand why is it a challenge. Now, the ultimate purpose of learning this subject is to make people perform better. So, job performance is equal to, or it's also called the function of, an employee's ability, his motivation, and the support that is provided by the organization. So, employees can perform their jobs well only if they have ability and also motivation, and all with the support given by the organization in terms of opportunities, in terms of training, in terms of facilities, in terms of resources, and any other kind of support if they desire. So in the presence of all that, employees can perform well, but they might have ability, you might provide support, but if there is no motivation, your performance doesn't happen. So that's how, mathematically speaking, it's a function of ability, motivation, and the support provided. Now, motivation is a goal directed behavior. So ultimately, every person, every individual has a goal in his personal life as well as professional life. For that matter, your life space is split into so many, I would say, dimensions. Like, for example, you have personal life, you have social life, you have family life, and then you have professional life. So all of them should be having goals. So wherever you have this life space, you must be having a goal to realize it. So yeah, why would some people accomplish their goals and some people throw away their goals? Maybe because of the motivation, or maybe because you didn't have a proper goal at all. I've seen this on and on and on among young people of during these last 30 plus years. And I very frequently ask this question, what is your life goal? They wouldn't know because they never have one. So the same question I would ask you, whether you have any life goal. So in other words, goal refers to the ultimate purpose of your life. So if you do not know the ultimate purpose of your life, why are you living, number one? Why are you pursuing these courses? Why do you need a job? So all the actions or all the means that we are choosing is only for some end of life. So what are your ends and then what are your means? Unfortunately, without knowing the goal or without having one set, we keep moving, and that's one of the reasons why I keep changing our goals, because we no longer have motivation for whatever we are doing. So every action must be goal focused. That's a very, very important aspect of basics of our lives. Tomorrow on the job also, if you do not have daily goals, if you do not have weekly goals, if you do not have monthly goals, if you do not have quarterly, half yearly, annual goals, you will not have motivation, because goal drives you, or goal attracts you, your energies. Like for example, in your 10th class, somebody would have asked you what is your life goal. You would have said you could have become, you wanted to become probably a doctor or an engineer or something else. And then in the intermediate you would have changed your goal, and then in the graduation you would have changed your goal. But you cannot do that now in post graduation, because this is what we call the finishing school, or your uh, final education. After this you need to settle down, find a job, get married, and have your families. That's how the life. These are all standard roles that one has to perform. So, if you do not have a proper goal now, at least, then it's a disaster. You have to consciously find out what is your life goal. And then I also have this repeatedly in most of my training programs. I would have come across managers always addressing some work related problem. They have some problem somewhere from their work. What is their problem? They are complaining about their subordinates most of the time. I wish I had highly motivated staff working in with me, working in my department. Most of the managers, even you can see that even in your existing hospital, that's the standard issue. Every manager virtually would have this question. I wish these guys are highly motivated. I wish these guys are active. I wish these guys are highly involved. I wish these guys are really committed. So what exactly innately they are expressing is that these guys are not motivated. Uh, some of us are motivated highly, some of us are not. Even among us, I've seen even among faculty members, some of us are very highly motivated, some of us are just motivated, some of us are just not at all motivated. They just work for the sake of surviving. That's it. They don't have great ambitions in life. So, my suggestion is I would ask you to note down three important words before we move on to the next slide. Three important words, and then I'll give you some time to think over those words and come out with your answers. Even you can take the help of Google also to find the answers, but write down the answers properly and then come with your answer. Question point first word, three words. First word, motive, motive. Second, write down in your notes, motive, motive. Then next word is called motivating, motivating. And the last one is called motivation. So these are the three words. So I'll give you for some time and then find proper answers, and then you can also give me examples. So let me pause until then. So I'll give you about a minute's time or maybe two. So find an appropriate answer and come out with the explanation. You can try Google, you can try any other engine, or you can try any dictionary, but you have to get to the point. What is motive? What is motivating? And what is motivation? So I think you're slowly getting into the meaning. Now each of them is in the sequence they are arranged actually. Motive is the inner energy or inner drive or inner force you can even take down, because I have also tried searching on the Google, but I am not finding the right meaning. So what is a motive? Motives could also be called inner drives, drives, inner drives that compel us or impel us into uh, taking decisions. So a motive is an inner drive that compels us to take initiatives and make decisions. It's like propelling us towards some action. They are very very powerful actually. Something which is yawning in your heart, something which is very strong in your heart. Until you realize that, you will never give up. That's why it's called a motive, because they are like drivers. They drive you. So next time you want to go to buy something, that is driving you. That's it. Come what may, you must buy that. So motives are very powerful, and uh, this concept of motive is given more importance to in crime scenes. While the police is investigating into a crime, they'll always want to know what is the motive behind this crime, because that comes to the framing of the case, and then build the FIR report, then file it in the court of law. So therefore, motive is an inner drive, something which impels or compels us. They are also sometimes equated with what is called the instincts. Instincts are the inner voice which keeps speaking to us. and therefore the decision to uh, move in a direction is what we call motivating. So motive is something which drives you towards a particular aspect of life, and then motivating is you're making a decision to move towards, and then motivation is the actual action. That's how we define them, all three of them. I can illustrate it. For example, today I wanted to have this session, so that's my motive, which is very compelling. I came quite early today, almost 45 minutes. I kept everything ready, but still something would go wrong in the 11th hour. But we should always be ready. If anything goes wrong at the 11th hour, you should always have a plan B or backup. So, overcoming all these things is called motivating still. Somehow I have to, because all of you are already there, ready to have this class. So, that was motivating. And then finally, the actual action is what? Demonstration. We are on with this course. So, the actual action is uh, the execution of whatever is there in my inner heart which is driving me. So, interestingly, there is another word called persistent motivation. Motivation itself is persistent, but if you go through these definitions, as I'm going to show you from the next slide, uh, motives and motivating and motivation, if they happen in a consistent manner, then that is persistent motivation. Otherwise, it cannot be. And therefore, one of the reasons why we are not consistently motivated is whatever that is something driving you today may not be driving you tomorrow. Whatever is exciting to you in your workplace today may not be exciting to you any longer tomorrow. So then I don't say that's called motivation, because you didn't put anything in action. And that's one of the reasons why most of us do not have higher achievements in life. So there are two words which are always relevant when we are talking about ultimately the goal. So goal should be motivating, in fact. So this goal could be accomplished or you can achieve it. So when you're achieving it, your motivation has taken place. But if it is not achieved, something is blocking you, it could be called frustration. So when your goal is thwarted or blocked from realization, we experience what is called frustration, which is quite common in every one of our lives. I was also slightly frustrated because the system was not cooperating with me, but I didn't give up, because somehow I wanted to accomplish this goal of taking the class, but the system was blocking me. So we may be blocked by many things, not necessarily a system blocked us today, but tomorrow somebody might be blocking, somebody might be disturbing. So it would be causing frustration. So the frustration is something we generally don't study in organizational behavior. I have not seen any textbook dealing with this concept called frustration. But overcoming frustration results in motivation. So therefore, they have to be connected, because both concepts are related to goal. So workplace goals or your personal goals or your family goals. So if goals are thwarted, it results in frustration. If goals are achieved, it is called motivation. So uh, in 1939, there was one professor by name Dollard. Uh, he had suggested a hypothesis stating that frustration results in aggression. So it's called frustration aggression hypothesis. So aggression is always a consequence of frustration, according to this hypothesis. So you know that when a cat is locked inside a door, it tries to be aggressive. It becomes very aggressive, though it's very fearful creature, but it suddenly becomes aggressive because it has no other way. So frustration can lead to aggression, well established fact. Most of these terrorist activities today, most of the fundamental religious activists today, they're all frustrated, and that's why they are aggressive and attacking the other communities in this country or anywhere else in this world. Like Naxalites, frustrated, they attack. Uh, Out of frustration, they are aggressive. Now, similarly, terrorists also, out of frustration, they become aggressive. That's a well established hypothesis. In 1978, there was another professor by name Paul Spector. He came out with a model which I will not be in detail explaining you, but what we can understand is that if you look through here, uh, when frustration is uh, my minimum, when frustration is minimum, you will have anger, and then you will become more increased arousal. That means you're always on the alert that you have some amount of frustration. You're trying to overcome it. That's called increased arousal. And when you have uh, less frustration, it's likely to influence your task performance, and it can prevent in performing your jobs. But when your frustration is in mild level, that means this is called minimum frustration otherwise. And when frustration is in the mild level, what would you do? You'll try to resort to alternative actions to realize your life goals. Some other way you try to accomplish your goals. And most of the time, I have this issue. If I'm convinced that I should accomplish this goal, come what may, I would go to and achieve it. And I might be silent on it because most of the time I don't have to tell the world that I have achieved it. That is only for my self satisfaction I achieve it. But somebody is trying to prevent it, so I overcome it through alternative actions. But when there is severe frustration, that is our problem in a society. When severe frustration, employees might quit the jobs, they might absent from their jobs, and or they might throw away our goals. When you are severely frustrated, when what has happened, for example, you're taking an entrance test, you might have failed in that exam, so there's no scope for you to pursue a particular course uh, because you have failed the entrance exam. So you might withdraw or you might abandon that goal. It happened to me. So if there is a expectation of punishment, you will withdraw or you will become silent. But if there is no punishment, then what you do, you become very aggressive in your company. You might be shouting at people, you spoil your interpersonal relations, then you might withdraw from your workplace. You can quit your job and then abandonment of your life goal. So, what is the way out? So, you have to read when you have these three levels of frustration in your workplace. I'm sure every one of us will experience them tomorrow. So when you have these kind of frustration levels, what should you do? What if you have mild frustration? If you have severe frustration, what should you do? So think about it, and then we'll slowly move towards a concept of motivation. Now, motivation is also called general devotion of energy towards your work, whatever the work, domestic work or official work. General devotion of your energy. So whatever you have energy, you devote that to your particular work. That's what we call motivation. And motivation is also defined as a process of intensifying, then directing yourself, and persisting in achieving the purpose for which you are. So whatever the purpose, if your goal is set, how much of intensity that you have towards realizing it, how directed are you, and then how persistent are you. That means you will never give up. So let's see how does it happen. It's defined as an individual's intensity, direction, persistence, and efforts towards your goal. So intensity, direction, and persistence. If you have these three, your motivation is consistent. So intensity refers to how much of energy that you really try to put forward, and then we'll try to talk more about it. Then it also needs a direction, because you might be trying all your hard efforts, but if it is not channeled in a proper directions that benefits the businesses, it has no effect. Your intensity has no meaning. It doesn't have any influence on your job performance outcomes. Uh, and therefore, efforts are very, very important uh, in pursuit of your goals. And finally, how much persistent? Do you have the same intensity? Would you like to put the same effort? Many times we start with great enthusiasm, but we give up because it is no longer encouraged. So, whatever energy that you have yesterday, you don't have it today. That's what we call lack of persistence. So, how long a person can maintain effort is very, very important. So, a motivated person stays with a task long enough to achieve his or her goal. So, I present this challenge to most of the students. Uh, in their very first semester, I would say, yeah, you looks very enthusiastic. Can you sustain this until the fourth semester? Many would say yes, 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 but I have seen in the fourth semester they are no longer motivated because it is evaporating. So that persistence is evaporating. But I would always find one or two students only, and these guys are gold medalists. Why? Because they are persistent. They will never give up. So intensity, direction, and persistence. These are the three words are central to the concept called motivation. Now, as I told you that uh, if you are not motivating your subordinates, it's very difficult to make them productive, and therefore your departments will not be productive. Now, in order to make this understand better and practice better, there are various theories invented. It's almost 100 years now. 1920s it started. So we are in 2020s now. So it's 100 years plus. These theories, most of these theories. So during the last 100 years, what has happened? So we can see here some old theories. Abraham Maslow is from 1920s. He was a physiologist, and then he proposed that theory called needs hierarchy theory, then followed by the next gentleman called Douglas McGregor back from 50s. He proposed a theory called theory X and theory Y. Then you have another gentleman called Frederick Herzberg's two-factor theory. I think we have already seen these some of them in the previous semester. But so now what I'll do very quickly, I'll move forward and then we'll look through some important theories called modern theories of motivation. So very quickly, I'll explain you what are these, and then we can spend more time on advanced theories of motivation. So let's see what is this gentleman's theory called needs hierarchy. Abraham Maslow. He proposed a theory called self-actualization theory, uh, which is self-actualization is the highest order need in this theory. In fact, these three theories are also called content theories of motivation. Somewhere you can write down that in the notes for examination sake. Content theories of motivation. So, what motivates people is called content theories, and then how motivation takes place is called process theories of motivation. So, back and back, we'll see both of them. What are content theories of motivation and what are process theories of motivation? So, to begin with, we'll start with one of the content theories of motivation called Maslow's needs hierarchy. Now, you can see Maslow had presented a hierarchy. I'll just put it, uh, that's the screen. So, here you can see he had presented five types of needs, are there also called five levels of needs. And these are the five levels of needs which motivate people towards their goal, towards their realization of their goals. So we started with the first one called physiological needs. They are also called basic needs such as air, water, food, sleep, etc. And once you are satisfied with these needs, then you will be qualified to the next level need. That's what that's the key actually. If your basic needs called physiological needs are satisfied, then you are ready with the safety needs. So you these needs have to do with establishing stability and consistency in this world. So safety nets sometimes motivate people to be religious. It has to give them some sort of comfort. So workplace, you have to provide safety nets if you have to motivate them in their workplaces. So fencing of the machinery, protecting the equipments, giving you safety things, uh, what you call safety gloves, safety goggles, safety dress, safety shoes, safety helmet. These are all these are the ways by which you can fulfill their safety needs. And then followed by, if you are satisfied with safety needs, then you are qualified to the next level called belongingness needs. Love and belongingness, that's the word that they have used, but in the our nations there is no scope for this word called love and affection. So therefore we simply say belongingness needs are relationship needs. According to these needs, everybody has a desire to be related to each other in their workplaces. We want to be part of certain groups, associations. Uh, that's what we define what is called belongingness needs. We need always to be accepted by the others. That's what we call belongingness needs. Now, once you are satisfied with this belongingness or friendship needs, then you are qualified for the next level need called esteem needs. So, what do you mean by esteem needs? It's the ability to fulfill your, realize your mastery over the works that you're doing. So you are an important person in the society. So the competence or ability or the mastery that you have over a particular job helps you to fulfill your esteem needs. So you are a highly achiever here. But that's not enough, because uh, the last one is called the self-actualization. He, this gentleman, Maslow says that that's the highest order of all the needs one should be aspiring for. So, what does it actually mean? Self-actualization means you're realizing the fullest potential of yourself in this life, and then you know that you have already accomplished your life goal. That's the meaning of self actualization. So, now the key to this theory is, unless a person is satisfied with his basic needs, he is not qualified to the next level, and so on until it reaches the highest order called self esteem needs. Sorry, self actualization needs. Now, we can even test it to what extent they are hierarchically arranged. Actually, Maslow never said that they are hierarchically arranged. It was, I think, Douglas McGregor who proposed it, that these are arranged hierarchically, but Maslow never arranged them in hierarchical sense. Many textbooks, even today, many textbooks say that Maslow only suggested the needs hierarchy, but Maslow never suggested this needs hierarchy. That I came across very recently one write up on the internet, that did Maslow really suggest hierarchical arrangement of these needs, or somebody else in the name of Maslow wrote it like that. So he finally found that it was Douglas McGregor in 1950s. He had proposed in his textbook the pyramid, but Maslow never presented a pyramid like this. So that's the way. And now, can they be in the order? Now, in a pandemic situation, tell me which needs are, which need is predominant in your case? I'm sure everybody wants to be safe, right, from this virus. So more than physiological needs, safety becomes more important. So I have to put safety here. Instead of physiological needs, I'll put safety first, then physiological. We ignore all this, and in the lockdown, we have foregone social needs. We couldn't meet our friends, relatives, sometimes family members. for a long, long time. We compromised with the social needs. Then, because of the lockdown, you are at home. So, how did you realize your mastery? How did you fulfill your potential? Then, you are isolated. You are at home. So, where did you realize the fullest potential of yourself? So, this lockdown has destroyed most of our needs. Now, we can even test these needs. For example, uh, what you could do, you give order according to your choice. Which one is very important in your life as on today? Like for example, if your exams are approaching very fast, your top need is esteem because you need to prove yourself in the exam. Then in which case what happens? You're overdoing, overworking, all night long. You're preparing for your exams, and your friends will come and they want to take you out. You say nothing doing. I'm not coming. So you're compromising on social needs. You're not bothered about what are you eating, what are you drinking, what are you wearing. So you're compromising on all physiological needs and safety needs because you're only focusing on exams preparation. So it's possible that you can these needs are not necessarily hierarchical in nature. Many times I would have forgotten about taking food because I am concentrating more on esteem, my mastery, my skills. That's possible anyway. So you can check up how much of self-actualized each one of you today. So quickly answer those questions. Then I'll tell you how many say yes, how many say no. Quickly, you can note down in your books. Keep reading each of them and say yes or no. So I have about 8 questions. If all of your questions are answered yes, that means you're uh, highly self-actualized. If all of your answers are no, you are not self-actualized until now. So anybody has a arrangement? Anybody has scored? It's a very easy test. More the yes, that means you are more self-actualized. Lesser the yes, that means you are less self-actualized. That's the way we understand.
I got more of no, sir.
Okay. So that means you have to work on this need. So you have to. That means you are not realizing your fullest potential. One has to, uh, as and when you have opportunity, you must realize your fullest potential. You have to prove it to the world
Sir,
that you are self-actualized. Yeah,
I got two S only.
yeah. So that means rest of them is no, right? So you are
Yes, sir.
also not self-actualized according to this score. You have to fulfill. You have to work towards it. Many people would say that at the age of retirement, people are self-actualized. I don't accept it. More simple meaning of self-actualization is that you can be a hero. So you can be a hero just for a day. That's the song name actually by one British rock musician called David Bowie who passed away 3 4 years ago. And that was a very popular song of that gentleman called "You Can Be a Hero Just for One Day" or just for 1 hour. That's it. Once that the minute you become a hero, you are a self-actualized person. One should. Even on a birthday, you're a self-actualized guy. Or on an anniversary day or a marriage day, you're a self-actualized. On the day of your wedding, you're self-actualized. On the day you are celebrated by people around you, you are self-actualized. So you are the center of attraction to the party. You are a self-actualized person. Now, what we'll do, we'll slowly move into the next one. There are various ways by which you can self-actualize yourself. So, number one, experience things fully, very clearly, and selflessly. Don't be, I would say, reserved. Don't keep things to yourself. Liberate yourself, share with people, experience new ways of living, and get into some new skills. Always keep learning something new and then share it with the world. I'm sure you would have noticed that most of the women who prepare nice food, they want to share that food with other family members. They are highly self-actualized. They could prove their complete worth to the people around them through their food. We have one lady like that in our families. She is the best cook I have noticed. Something like a master chef she is. Uh, no other woman cooks food like her. And I'm honestly not fond of any foods. I don't enjoy any kind of food. I'm not attached to any kind of food with lots of desire. Whatever it's there, I'll just eat. That's it. Whether it is tasty or not, it doesn't matter to me. Whether there is salt in it or not, it doesn't matter to me. I just eat it. But this lady, whenever I would go to her house, she would particularly see that she would feed me too much. And unfortunately, I eat very less food, and I cannot say no to this lady. And she would fill my plate with so many items. And I know she is expecting me to give a feedback, so I would give quickly feedback. But at the same time, I would also tell her that this is the whatever the food that you are serving me is three times for me. Uh, it's a three-time meal for me. One time you are serving me. That's the kind of quantity she expects me to eat. But I cannot say no to her. I will eat it and then I'll fast for the subsequent times. So I'm not self-actualized because I'm eating variety of food items. But I wanted to let you know that she is self-actualized because she has proven her worth in being the master chef of all the family members. Many of us would say that our mother's food was tastier than other family members' foods. Everybody comments like that. Why? Because right from childhood you got used to the taste, and then you're unwilling to accept the new taste. That's our problem actually. So if you want to self-actualize, you should let yourself loose. You have to make choices. Next time when you go to another city, try to eat something which belongs to that city distinctly. You're trying out the cuisines of that city, or maybe next time when you go to a foreign land, you must eat some food from that foreign land. That's what we call exploring the culture of that city, culture of that nation. So you must emerge on your own. That's what we call let the self emerge. Yourself should emerge out of you. If you really want to improve your self actualization, these are some of the ways by which you can experience yourself. And then, yeah, there are many ways. When you're in doubt, be honest. That's another important point. Uh, Most importantly, I would say that taking responsibility. Today, I have seen a lot of youngsters, they want to avoid work. By doing so, they are not self actualizing. But if you really want to self actualize, you better take responsibilities, take more roles actually. Short time, more roles gives you more experience, more skills. That's the secret of life. So take more loads, more roles, more responsibilities, more tasks, more assignments. Your achievements will be very high. So you are self-actualized in very short time. You don't have to wait until your age of retirement. You can be self-actualized in a very, very short time because you have taken too many responsibilities. But you might also say, don't you think when I take too many responsibilities, I might fail? That's what. When you let yourself loose, you're focused, you will not fail. Yeah, it costs you sometimes. Like many of my colleagues earlier we used to say that, why are you wasting your time? Why do you work like this? Who's going to appreciate you? You will become very unpopular because you're listening to your own tastes. So be prepared to be unpopular. You are unpopular today, but tomorrow you are highly popular. Why? Because you have put additional efforts, you have gone extra mile to be self-actualized. Use your intelligence if you want to be self-actualized. Find out new ways of doing things, learn something new, and then prove yourself. Like suddenly you come out on the stage and start performing a song or playing an instrument which you never did it because you've learned it in the recent time. You have to. These kind of things would help you to be self-actualized. Now, there are many ways. Make peak experiences. That means always have higher goals and then don't be in the fantasy world. Be practical. Even sometimes I've seen that people who are positive thinkers, these positive thinkers only keep thinking but they don't practice. So what I expect you is that be practical. Always take one step ahead. Move forward. That's how uh, you would realize your purpose of life. Your mission would be known. You will be fulfilling that mission in a very short time. Now let's move on to the next theory called McGregor's X and Y theory. Douglas McGregor's X and Y theory. I'll take just 10 minutes to finish this topic, and tomorrow we will see more. I'll come personally. Uh, Sometime I think around 1 o'clock, 1:30. I'll try to be there with you in the college. If you have any other assignments, you tell me well in advance because I have to travel quite a long distance. It's something like up and down 60 kilometers I have to cover. So you just tell me well in advance in case if there is any other assignments, I will not attempt at coming. So let's move forward. Uh, Douglas McGregor said that there are two kinds of philosophies. One is called Theory X philosophy and Theory Y philosophy. So, according to these philosophies, people are branded as Theory X people and Theory Y people. So, employees can be branded as Theory X employees or Y employees. Managers also called X managers and Y managers because all of them, managers and employees, have these kind of philosophies. So, Theory X says people are lazy, they dislike work, they do as little as possible, and therefore they must be very closely supervised or use either carrot or stick to motivate them. Whereas theory Y is opposing to that. It says people are not necessarily lazy; they are motivated. If they like their work, they will perform and get satisfied, and they would like to work very hard for their nation, and they are willing to do what is right for their nation, and they would like to be actively involved in and participate in most of the decisions in the workplace. So that's what these are basically philosophical stands. Either you could be theory X employee or I could be theory X manager. So if you are theory X manager and I am also theory X manager, what would I do? I'll try to punish you. I will force you to work. But if I'm theory Y manager, I would create atmosphere so that you will come out of your laziness and get into action. That's it, plain simple way of explaining. And now what we will do, we'll also see how you can cure theory X people. So fix hourly wages so that every hour they are on their toes. Provide counseling or sometimes punish them or give them routine tasks or jobs so that they'll continuously work on that. Give them some amount of training also so that they can change. So now we'll see another interesting theory called Herzberg's two-factor theory, and then we'll discontinue our topic. Tomorrow we'll again resume it. So what is this Herzberg's two-factor theory? There are two factors that are needed in motivation. Number one, hygiene factors, which are also called extrinsic factors. Number two, motivational factors are intrinsic factors. So, what are extrinsic? They are outside of the job. What are intrinsic? They are internal to the job. That's another clue. Now, what are hygiene factors? Supervision, pay, policies, working conditions, relationships, and job security. In fact, promotion also comes there. It's not mentioned here, but promotion also is part of hygiene factors because promotion is outside of the job. It happens after the job. Whereas motivational factors are internal to the job, inside the job. Like, for example, advancement, growth, recognition, responsibility, achievement. These are all internal to the job. So, finally, what is the key to this theory? This theory suggests that um, people are dissatisfied when hygiene factors are not good. For example, my supervisor is not good, my pay is poor, my company policies are very rigid, my working conditions like ventilation, sitting arrangements, all those things are not good, and my coworkers are not good. I don't have enough job security. So therefore, I am dissatisfied with my job. But I might be motivated, though job dissatisfaction exists, but motivation can exist provided I am finding some meaningful recognition is there in my job. Responsibility I have, I am also achieving highly. I can have advancement. So if these elements are experienced, a person has motivation, but these elements absence, person has dissatisfaction. So what does it mean? Dissatisfied people can also be highly motivated provided motivational factors are there, but some amount of effect job dissatisfaction will have on these factors, but absence of hygiene factors results in job dissatisfaction. Presence of motivational factors will result in higher motivation and job satisfaction. That's a plain understanding. So what we must do as managers, we know that these are all base. Motivational factors will motivate employees better. Therefore, create in every job, people take responsibility, people have achievements. You have to recognize them, appreciate them, then give them opportunities to grow in their workplace and give them promotions and advancements. That's the way their motivation can be. But to boost this motivation, also give importance to these things: better pay, better supervision, better policies, better working conditions, good relationships, and give them job security. So dissatisfaction is eliminated, motivation is boosted because already those elements are there. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, we can raise. Otherwise, uh, we can discontinue our topic.